Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the TEQ Mecha Freiza that just got his awakening with the release of this latest World Tournament. I think it's been a while since we had one of the World Tournament SSRs get their TUR awakening. I'm trying to think who the last one was. If you can remember, let me know down below in the comments. But the TEQ Mecha Freiza has his awakening, and I feel like he could be somewhat interesting. The problem, of course, being that he is just a TUR, right? So he doesn't have an easy A. You can see Rainbow, he's got 7,000 defense. So it'll be interesting to see what we can get out of this guy. His super attack greatly raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers attack. So I mean, some events you can still lower attack, so that could be quite helpful. He gets 3 key in attack and defense 180%. He gives Revenge or Wicked Bloodline character allies 60% attack and 30% defense. When attacking, he gets attack and defense 120%. And then as long as there's another Revenge or Wicked Bloodline ally in the same turn, he gets an extra 120% attack and defense, gets a guaranteed additional super, 60% chance to crit and 30% damage reduction when attacking with 12 or more key. So obviously he only gets those stats when attacking. Obviously, if he's supporting Revenge and Wicked Bloodline, his real use is to be a support unit for those teams. So unless you're fighting an AoE boss, he's going to be attacking before he attacks anyway. I haven't put any skill orbs on him because I'm not really sure. I just gave him a full dodge build because he's a support unit. We can see here he's at 181k defense start of turn. Now, unfortunately on this turn with the double Broly's, he has no links. So it is what it is, right? He's going to get 120% when supering. So he's going to go up to about 400k, which obviously is not crazy, but he does get the extra raised defense on his super attack effect, and of course he has 30% damage reduction as well. So damage reduction is good, obviously, you know, with low defense, damage reduction. It's why units like AGL Gold and Frieza still kind of aged out despite having 90% damage reduction, like STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta with 80%. Like, even with damage reduction, you need a decent amount of defense to back it up. And with something as low as like 30% damage reduction, you think about, like, if we have a boss that is doing 3 million damage, we're only dropping that down to like just over 2 million. So then him having like 400k defense obviously isn't going to be good enough, right? So we'll see how he gets on here. 4.7 million attack. Now again, remember, on this rotation we don't have any links active, so we can't really judge him too harshly based on that. At least he's tanking the normal attacks here for double digit damage, so that's fine. I mean, obviously as a floating support, that's kind of all we really want. And then of course he gets super attacked. How much is he going to take from this guy? How much damage does this guy even do? 460k. What does this Goku Black do? 1 million damage, but he also gets 5% with each attack received, and he got hit, what, like 4 times or something? So I mean, that was an attack that would have done like 1.2 million-ish, I think. And he still took like that much damage. It's kind of not ideal. What do we want to do here? Let's get those out of the way, I guess, for you. And then we can just grab that one for you. And then get all of these HL orbs for Buhan. Heal a little bit with the rainbow orbs here. And then, obviously, we're not going to take any damage. Although, actually, that's an interesting amount of damage for TEQ Broly to be taking from... Oh, hang on, is this... Because, of course, I didn't have Frieza on turn 1. So, I think this was TEQ Broly's second turn. Whoops. Yeah, this is turn 3? Is this turn 3? Or is it turn 4? Yeah, TEQ Broly's already been on rotation before, that's why he took damage. Yeah, it's turn 3. Whoops. That's alright, Janemba will tank these. Buhan will do some decent damage here. Although we really need to actually kill him, because otherwise I don't want to put Frieza in slot 1. That means Frieza's not going to get a chance to attack. Yeah, of course he didn't do another additional. Good. Good. Because I wanted to have this rotation, because now we can at least have Prodigies, Universe Most Malevolent, and Strongest Clan in space. But that still only gives him 181k defense. I mean, he is providing support to Frieza. Frieza doesn't have big bad bosses, but like, He's only been on rotation once. I had to float him off because he was on turn 1. So he's at 1,000,000 defense already with the links from this Frieza. Of course, he can't get any, can't get his 18 key super here. So let's do this, and then do this. Yeah, not the greatest of starts for sure. And of course, he's going to super straight away. Might actually just die. Oh wait, no, of course, Frieza in slot 1 is a tanky boy. So, but yeah, full power Frieza obviously is going to kill Goku Black here, so we're not going to get to see TEQ Frieza attack. But at least we have the rotation set up now. So, and Frieza gets to stack a little bit more attack, I suppose. But really, we want that extra defense. I mean, the next phase is Zamasu's STR, so that's not too bad. I like using this stage to showcase the newer units, because it's still one of the new, like, tough stages, but it's not the toughest one. So it's one of those things where, like, people always say, when I do the showcases, when we're talking about, like, free-to-play characters, which the World Tournament characters are, we kind of have to have tempered expectations, like, a little bit, right? They're not going to be doing what a new Dokkan Fest TUR or a Dokkan Fest EZA is going to be doing. But I've always said, like, whilst the expectations I think can be a little bit lower for free-to-play characters, I guess realistically, they're for newer players that are struggling with some of the, like, mid-level content, I guess, maybe. But then the problem is, as we've discussed, World Tournament characters, and we've definitely talked about this in previous World Tournament character showcases, I feel like the World Tournament characters fit under a slightly different, because if you just have to jump in and farm a story event, and then you get a free-to-play like TUR, then obviously, yeah, the expectation for them is not going to be super, super high, but at least they will potentially be useful for newer players, like I said, for, like, medium-level difficulty content. But for these characters that come from the World Tournament, like, this Frieza was originally a World Tournament reward, so unless you played the World Tournament for, like, a decent amount, you potentially only got, like, one copy of him anyway. And so then if you really wanted to, like, to have him rainbow and now, like, maxed out, you either had to grind the first World Tournament that he was in, or have potentially got him from, like, the World Ticket summons that have, you know, been available since then, when he got added to the pool of characters that you could get. And so that means that he isn't a unit that, like, if you're a newer player, you're just going to be able to farm him up and have him, and so it doesn't really matter if he's not that great, right? I feel like with these characters, especially related to the World Tournament, especially when it comes to, like, the awakening for this guy, like, he came out such a long time ago. In fact, I could probably double check on the wiki here while we do this rotation here. What's the easiest way to get to... I hate the fact that wiki just doesn't really get updated anymore, because it's one of the only ones that I know of that shows the... that shows, like, the dates that the units came out. But yeah, so we'll put full power Frieza in slot 1. So we've got full power Frieza at 800k defense, because obviously he's now missing his extra buff from having had been on the turn already. But this guy's at 153k with Prodigy's Universe, Most Malevolent and Strongest Clan in Space. So let's see how he gets on here. Let me get the Revenge category. There you go. I just had to go to Broly, then go to Revenge. In fact, yeah, the TUR Awakening for this Frieza's not even on the wiki yet. But yeah, his card came out in 2020. So he was the World Tournament reward May 2020 on JP, July for Global. So he's been out for quite a long time. Finally got his Awakening. This is what I mean, right? We wait 5 years from his release, basically, for him to get a TUR Awakening. I feel like it's reasonable to have a certain level of expectation. Like 6.6 million attack, it's not really anything of any value. 7.2 gets dodged anyway. I was going to say, it would be interesting to see if he actually does at least a little bit of damage. But, like, obviously I'm not too worried about his damage, because he's meant to be a support unit. But then the fact that he's taking, what, 180k. What does this Zamasu hit for? Zamasu's normal attacks do 1 million damage. So... yeah, Frieza taking nearly 200k from 1 million damage attacks. And as I said in... I don't know which one I'm putting up first, actually, because I've already recorded the physical Bojack showcase. But one of the things that I mentioned in that video is the fact that we're way past the point now where difficult bosses are only doing like 1 million damage with their super attack, right? So if he's taking 200k from 1 million damage attack, then imagine what kind of damage he's taking from like the actual hard hitting bosses like super attacks. So it's one of those things, it is hard to draw the line of like how critical to be of these characters, because obviously if you're somebody like me who, you know, you have an end game level account, you're rating units on their like best performance on their best teams against these tough events, then yeah, obviously it's very easy to say this Frieza's not very good. Like, the support that he provides is nice, and the thing is, he has a really good like base kit. I guess it's really disappointing to have to say, like, on the day the guy gets his TUR Awakening, the #1 takeaway is that he'll probably have a good EZA in like a couple of years, or whenever they do it, right? Because they're going to start running out of World Tournament EZAs because they're doing so many with each World Tournament. So maybe it'll be a year or less even before this guy gets an EZA, and then like maybe they won't even do World Tournament reward cards anymore. But like the decent parts of his kit are obviously the fact that he gives the allies 60% attack and 30% defense, which is really good. And then obviously with the allies that he wants to be run with anyway, having an additional super is great, guaranteed. It's not an attack with a chance to be a super, and having damage reduction, and then he gets built-in 60% crit. So obviously you want to go full dodge and then like the rest additional in case you can get in a third attack. We did see on the previous turn he did a third attack, but it was only a normal. He does get Fear and Faith here from Janemba as well, which is an extra, well, it's just a key link. Universe Most Malevolent is 20% attack, and Strongest Clan in Space is key. So he doesn't even really have a lot of defense from links. He has Mechanical Menaces, which is a terrible link that barely anyone has, which unfortunately does give him 5% damage reduction. So it'd be nice if there was like, look at these characters that have this link. Like, basically he doesn't have any options really for a link partner for that link, but an extra 5% damage reduction, it's not going to save the unit, but it would be quite nice. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that again. There's 2 attacks in the middle again, so more damage incoming for Frieza. Maybe we can get lucky and get the triple super turn here, but yeah, like I said, like he has really good potential for an EZA because the base of his kit is actually pretty solid, but obviously he's not helped out by the fact that as a free-to-play TUR, he doesn't exactly have super high stats to start with. So I feel like they need to counteract that with just giving them better stats, right? Like we see characters now, a lot of the time, it may be summonable units or LRs, but like characters that have like 200% attack and defense as their passive. Like, for free-to-play characters who are going to have lower stats to start with anyway, you know, let's crank out some higher numbers like that, for example. Yeah, we didn't get the third attack, and yeah, 174. Oh, and now he's going to get supered, so there you go. That's going to be the end of the showcase right there. 1.4 million, and Zamasu's super does 2.8. So bear in mind, Zamasu is nowhere near, like, the toughest boss in the game. You know, even some of these earlier stages of the red zone in like the Goku or Vegeta story, bosses are hitting for that kind of level. So yeah, it's a shame because like reading his kit when he got his awakening, when I did the video about the data download, like there are some good things about his kit. It's just unfortunately the way it all comes together as the unit with the stats that he has, the links and everything, like he's just unfortunately not all that great. It's a shame that Mecha Freiza doesn't have big bad bosses. I mean, I get why he doesn't, right, based on how they give that link out sometimes, because Broly should have it, but like if he had big bad bosses, that would be so helpful, because next to the full power Frieza, they both get that active. That would be an extra 25% defense. I mean, even that's not going to save this unit, right? But yeah, unfortunately, whilst, you know, some interesting design options for him, he's just really not anything too crazy to talk about. His EZA could be great, but who knows how long we have to wait for that. You know, even if like we get a whole new setup, you know, like we had the Wicked Bloodline with the Cooler Worldwide. Wicked Bloodline got all these buffs and became like a top tier team. Even if that happened again with like another big celebration, like this guy just doesn't really fit in the current meta, which is unfortunate. But let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see from his EZA? We're going to be waiting a while, but yeah, I mean, he's got an interesting design, but they really should just go all out for these free-to-play characters, especially if they know that, like, he's not going to get an EZA for, like, at least another year or so. So to drop a unit now who isn't really even that good now, and then I guess we just have to hope that he might be good in, like, a year or two, is a little bit disappointing. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.